statistics on self-harm. It's impossible to say how many young people are actually self-harming or how many people are actually self-harming. But according to Self-Harm UK, and you can check it out on their website, it's thought that about 13% of 11 to 16-year-olds may try to hurt themselves at some point, which is loads, I'm sure you'll agree.
Definitely.
And the actual figure could probably be much higher because, I mean, how are they recording that? Are they like going into people's bedrooms? And I don't know how they'd be recording that.
It's recorded by who presents at A&E, and then so it's only recorded if you present at A&E.
Oh, okay, so it is literally just
Ballpark figure. So just think of the hundreds of people that don't go to A&E.
yeah.
You know,
That's not
I
really
never went
recorded.
to A&E, so I wouldn't even count. But I do it.
Yeah, between the ages of 11 to 16, if you don't want your parents to know, you're not going to be going to A&E, are you? Yeah, that's a very good point. Well made.
Thank you.
So in 2014, there was thought to be a 70% increase in admissions to A&E for young people from self-harm since 2012, which is ridiculously big.
Unbelievable jump.
Like 70%. And that's only of the recorded people.
Yeah, I mean that's over half of young people.
Yeah, so we encounter a lot of stuff about self-harm. We do training in self-harm for schools and teachers and all sorts. And Jess, who was just talking then, has very kindly agreed to have a chat with us today about her experiences of self-harm, what it's all about for her. Obviously, we're not saying that we are in any way the experts on this subject. It's a very personal thing. It's very subjective on to why you would do it or your reasons for doing it, how you've got there, how you do it, what you do. But it seems like something that people aren't wanting to talk about. And at the project, we like talking about things that people don't like to talk about that are mental health related. Yeah. Not just like doilies and things. Yeah. Next video will be doilies. Yes or no? But yeah, she's very kindly agreed to talk to us, so I will hand over to her and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
Bye. Well, I think self-harm is, well, there's not really one way to describe self-harm. It comes in many, many different forms. Cutting, burning. For some it could be just getting tattoos, piercings. For others it could be alcohol, drug abuse. There are many different ways that you would define self-harm. People do it for lots of different reasons. I don't think I can really generalise why everybody self-harms. I can tell you why I do it, and I can tell you that why I do it probably is the reason other people do it, and the reasons I do it are to get relief from how I feel inside. Gives me that breathing space just for a minute, and also because I feel like I need to be punished, so that's another reason I do it. But obviously I can't speak for everyone, and everyone has their own reasons for self-harming.
Is it about being suicidal?
No, well, not always. Generally self-harm is just self-harm. Usually self-harm is actually a way that keeps you on a level enough playing field so that you don't end up committing suicide, because it keeps your feelings at bay, whereas if you didn't release any of that stuff, it would just build and build and build, and you would probably end up doing it.
So actually it can be kind of like a management tool.
Yeah, it can be like a self-help thing. I mean, it's not really recommended, but
no.
If it does the job at the time, then it's better than death.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a crisis management kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously it might not be the healthiest way to do it, but for some people
it's the only way that works at the time. The risks are, well, you can do it wrong, or You could get infections. It's very important if you're going to self-harm to make sure that you're looking after them afterwards, because you definitely don't want infections in them. Obviously, depending on the severity of your self-harm, are usually going to end up with quite a bit of scarring, which I know at the time you're doing it is almost impossible to think like, oh, I shouldn't do this because I will end up with scarring at some point, but it is something to bear in mind on where you may do it and how big you do it.
So the long-term thing is that it scars for a long time often.
A long time. And then even when you think maybe you're done with that chapter of your life, you'll never be able to 100% forget, because you'll have visible scars that you will see and potentially other people will see. I really don't like the fact that I have lots of scars, and it stops me doing a lot of things and feeling confident with myself, because I don't want people to ask like, oh, why do you have so many scars? And I think self-harm scars are very obvious as to what they are usually. Like, you can't really just say, oh, that was the cat, or especially if you've been self-harming a long time, you can't really cover it with a story. It's pretty obvious what it is, and people definitely have mixed reactions to that. So for me, just because I don't feel comfortable doing things like swimming, wearing anything short, or because I don't want people to see because of the fear of what people will say. But there have been some occasions where one lady said to me that I worked with, she said, oh, well, I've seen your arm, so I know you're going to know what I'm talking about, so can we just talk about self-harm? And I was a bit like, well, you probably could have asked me in a different way other than going about it like that. But yeah, it makes you remember actually how visible they are.
Is it wrong?
No. It's not wrong, but I mean, it's not right. It's not something you want to be doing, definitely, but at the same time, as we said earlier, if it's crisis management and it's keeping you alive and it's the only thing that is doing that for you at that time, that no one out there can tell you it's wrong, because everyone has their ways of coping. Some people play computer, some people smoke, some people get drunk. Like, every way people cope like that can be frowned on in some way, but you know that if you stop, it could lead to way worse things. So I would never accept anyone telling me it was wrong. I mean, I can accept people telling me it should change and it's not a good idea, but it's not wrong.
Do people do it for attention, do you think?
I think that's a general across the board, maybe. Like, a lot of people do not, and that is definite, and some people do, and any of those ways there's a problem. Whether people are showing it for attention, then they need some support, and then the people that hide it also need a lot of support. It's not something people do as an attention-seeking thing like everyone seems to think it is. People generally do their best to keep it all hidden. I know I always have mine hidden because it's not something I want other people to see. It's not something I want other people to know that I do. So on the whole, I would definitely say it's not attention-seeking, and that is definitely one of the biggest issues surrounding self-harm, is people just think they're doing it for attention when actually that's not the case at all. What frustrates me is that people don't seem to understand how bad somebody has to be feeling to actually harm themselves. Like, as a human being, we hate pain. It's something that us as humans try and avoid at all costs. So if you try and put yourself in someone else's shoe and think how much their brain on insides must be hurting for them to turn on themselves like that, that is what I want people to understand, because it's not fun and it's not what people want to be doing. But try and imagine that was your only way of coping, and then hopefully you can kind of see, oh, you know, maybe it's not just attention, maybe these people are crying out for help. I know for me, what's been helpful is people not telling me to stop, like, I can't stop at the moment, or I couldn't stop, and people just saying, oh, you need to stop that and you need to change. That doesn't help, it just makes you feel like you're being an idiot or being useless. And actually, people just saying, okay, I know you do this, if you need to talk about it, I'm there for you. Like, if you need medical attention, let me know and we can arrange it. I know my mum gave me like a first aid box to keep with me at all times, so that she's fully aware that I do it, but she gives me things to make sure I clear up and keep myself safe afterwards. So generally, just people accepting that you do it, not necessarily understanding or approving of it, but just understanding that at that moment it's something me, you, whoever has to do. I don't mind talking about this kind of thing. I think it's a really important subject to cover, and people need to be aware of it, and people need to be aware of why it happens, and that it's not this attention seeking joke like people seem to make out like it is. So if I can make any difference, then I will.
Thanks for watching, thanks for getting all the way to the end. I hope you found it really helpful, or I hope it kind of gave you some knowledge on it, or even just helped a little bit. Share everybody, and also subscribe if you want to, because we're going to be doing more kind of stuff like this. Please do comment if there's anything you want us to talk about, or you want us to get somebody to talk about, or you want us to do whatever about, write about,
Yeah,
dance about.
dance about.
And yeah, leave comments. We're on Instagram, we're at the Project YP on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're going to be on Snapchat as well soon, because people seem to love Snapchat, and I haven't got huge, well, I used to be on it, but I haven't got hugely involved. Just a little window into our exciting world, social media. But yeah, thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye from Jess. Bye. So get all the laughies out now.
Yeah, laughing away.
So, in your own words, please share. Please feel free to do so. Show whoever. Do so. Show.